We here today. Oh, don't worry, I'm gonna have plenty of time to play with her. Well, I'm not gonna be long here. I just put together my baby's first baby walker. Did she just turn 4 months?
Yeah.
When? The 16th?
Yeah.
What's today? The 20th? So 4 days ago, she just turned 4 months. All right, here's what we're gonna talk about today. Welcome to the Mary and Ghana Show. Been a while. We've been on YouTube a couple times this past week, but we're here back on the IG show for you guys. And yeah, you see, I got my new scalp. One day I'm going to grow my hair back, but just not now. All right, we're talking about the Will Smith pending or impeding divorce with Jada Pinkett Smith. To me, this has been a long time coming. Yeah, I ain't even get dressed. You notice that? I'm in my lay around clothes.
Yeah.
All right.
But you look good, right?
I always look good. All right. So yeah. So we're dealing with the Will Smith impending divorce with Jada Pinkett Smith. So this thing has been a long time coming in my books, man. We know the story. A lot of y'all, it's been so much in the tabloids, so much all over the news, social media, whatever, that y'all know well by now that there's been a lot of issues in this marriage. And that goes with the absolute and total disrespect and disregard for Jada as a wife and treating her husband with honor and respect. I'm not going to go down a list of issues. We did a show like that before. But what I do want to talk about is, what does this mean for men today, especially Black American men? And the reason why I say this, that this is not all about Will and Jada, so to say, but I believe this is symbolic of a turning point in Black history, as you will, that things that were dealt with and was we as men tried to manage throughout the previous years and decades with our women. I think this is symbolic of a turning point with men, that the men are getting to a point that they are saying no more, enough is enough. And that's what I believe this split being symbolic of. We know Will Smith wanted this marriage to work by any means necessary. This man took a lot. Took a lot in the media. He took a lot of hits in the public eye. But he continued on, never disrespecting himself or his wife. Never disrespecting himself up to the moment of, as I first called it, the slap that was heard around the world. Everybody else coined that. So, let's get into it. All right. I got some things I want to say, but I'm going to read you this. This is what's coming out right now. I'm going to skip through some of this. We know about one of the biggest scandals in the entertainment history could end in divorce of two of its protagonists, Will and Jada, who apparently, after the worldwide commented episode occurred during the Oscars 2022, will be at the lowest point of their relationship. I probably ain't read it right, but such reports from several entertainment tabloids claim that the relationship between the Smith-Pinkett couple was already fractured for some time. But now, with the consequences of Will's slap to Chris Rock at the Academies, everything is worsening. And in a way, it's hard to imagine things getting worse, but apparently they have. Now, what is this going to mean for the couple? It's estimated that Will Smith is worth about $350 million. Not bad. We know under California law, every state in the United States is different when it comes to their laws. In the state of California, when it comes to divorce, it's like automatic that the wife gets half of whatever the husband has. And I believe that they are automatically pay alimony. I don't know how that works for how many years, so forth, but I know that likely he's going to give up half of his wealth. Bill Gates did it. So it's not like out of the ordinary. Paul McCartney, I believe, did it. A few others I've went through this who have had an exuberant amount of money and hundreds of millions of dollars in divorce and was willing to give half. Even Jeffrey Lurie from the Eagles, our owner of our Philadelphia Eagles football team, I think he was worth over more than $500 million. And he divided everything pretty much evenly down the middle with his wife. So it's not out of the ordinary. It's giving up a lot of money, but when you're talking about still being left with $150 million and all of your, whatever other assets that you keep and have the ability to make more down the line, your peace is everything, your sanity is everything. Because it's gotten to a point that this man, in order to keep his sanity, he understands that he has to walk away. It's just to that point that it's time to walk away. And sometimes it's necessary. And also, you got to understand that from what has happened at the Oscars that have left a bad taste in a lot of people's mouth, and it's not just those in the public eye, but even more so those who are at the top in the movie production world, the people who will have to hire Will Smith for future movies. We already know that Bad Boys is put on hold and he's having some problems with his production company. They're trying to, I guess, bring that down for whatever reason. Well, we know the reason. But him separating from Jada is going to be a good look for him to, his employers, those who employ him in movies. Because they're going to see that he was driven to a point of, just no end, that he had no choice but to separate because what caused not his downfall, but the situation that had occurred at the Oscars this year was primarily due to his relationship with his wife. And I think it'll be a good look for him. I really do. I'm looking at something. That the California law, will lose half of his fortune, which I just said, due to the laws of the state of California. Ever since the Oscars, the scandal, tensions between them have been palpable. There have been problems for years, but they're barely speaking right now. If they were to split, Will has a fortune $350 million that Jada would be entitled to half under California laws. And like I said, that's okay. Sanity and your peace is worth more than money. Look at Dr. Dre, for instance. Dr. Dre left $100 million on the table when he left Death Row Records. And now he's had a divorce with his wife where I forget the amount of money that he had to pay, but it was highly high. Let's look it up real quick right now. I wish I could use my phone to do this. It's so much easier. No. How much did Dr. Dre pay? How much Dr. Dre pay his wife? Okay, so Dr. Dre and niece Nicole Young have reached a divorce settlement. E! News that Dr. Dre agreed to pay his ex-wife $100 million. $50 million now and $50 million a year from now. Dre will keep the properties and rights to his music and stock option. So he's giving up $100 million to divorce his wife. He walked away from $100 million at Death Row Records and started pretty much over. So that's $200 million right there. But this man understands the price of his peace. The price of having that peace in your life. So even Will Smith, it doesn't have to be half. It could be more, it could be whatever. But they could work that out within themselves. That's what lawyers are for. And a lot of people are saying this is geared to be one of the ugliest public divorces that we've seen in a while. The last one that we know in the public eye is Brad Pitt and Angela Jolie. So if you know those guys, they had a horrible divorce. And they went through years that it took many, many years for that to get settled. Then you have Tom Cruise and Penelope Cruz. That was a horrific divorce. There's quite a few out there. We see the Kanye and Kim Kardashian. So these things happen in the public view when people have millions of dollars on the table. But like I said, some of these men see that giving up half of their wealth is okay in order to keep their peace and sanity. So what this episode is about that I'm talking about right now, basically, I'm saying that this is symbolic. This situation with Will Smith, because we just talked about all the other divorces, but because Will Smith represents something that's going on in Black America. And that's dealing with the modern day women. Dealing with women who just don't want to be what you need them to be. She made it plain and simple. She's not a traditional woman, nor does she want to be married. Her kids want to change genders. It's all over the place with her. And this man, after 20 years, is saying that enough is enough. I've tried so hard to work with you, but because you do not want to adapt to the situation, you do not want to become a better person, a better woman, it's time. And it's the right decision. And I will almost never say that walking away from a marriage is the right decision for anybody, unless it's domestic abuse. But in this situation, with all that we know, all that's been put out there, this is definitely the right decision to make. Because she's just somebody who's not going to change. She has a bad spirit, Jezebel spirit. She has no remorse on the men that she sleep around with on her husband. And she make light of it by saying she does it because her husband can't please her in bed. Embarrassing. A woman like that, it's time to leave. Then when you have your wife constantly telling you how she's in love with another man who's not even alive today, that's talking about the Tupac Amaru Shakur, it's time to leave. You gotta walk. But I'm saying that this is what Black men in America have been going through for a while. And now it's to a point where they are saying enough is enough. You have a lot of Black men who are looking towards other races of people. And they're going to do it. Black men are the most sought after men on the face of the earth. One thing about Black men, you always find Asian women who want them. You always find Latina women. You always find white women. There will always be women of all sorts of background and ethnicities that will always be after Black men. But the same can't be said for Black women. That's why these so-called ladies who call themselves divestors, who are boasting about that you should go out and marry white men, now you're hearing story after story after story after story, these same divestors who are having babies with these white men, and these white men are walking away from them because they can't deal with them anymore. So it shows you that there's a common denominator. And it's not Black men. In this case, it's not the white men. It's them. They are the issue. The modern day women is the worst thing to hit our society today. More destructive than anything in the 2000s and the 2000 and the late 1990s and all that. Feminism, modern dayism, not wanting to build traditional homes. You know how many videos I've been through over the course of weeks that I hear on certain channels that women think is okay and even more productive being a single mother, whereas they don't want a man in the home? Absolute rebellion. Absolute rebellion. And a lot of these women call themselves Christians. They will call themselves Christians but be in rebellion against the very order of God. That's why the Bible says that you speak all these words, but your hearts are far from me because you are living in disobedience. And that's what it is, and that's what it's been for some time. So this modern deism of women, it does not work. And the Will Smith and Jada Pinkett Smith episode is showing us that it doesn't work. This man have dealt with so much for 20 years. Dealt with all the disrespect for 20 years in the public view. Never disrespected his wife one time. Gave it his all. Even his own children disrespects him. She brought this man down so bad that she got her own children to publicly humiliate him by writing a letter to a Tupac saying that I wish you was here instead of my dad, basically, because it would make my mom happy. We can all be happy if you were just here. Absolute embarrassing humiliation. So now black men are saying that enough is enough. They're not going to put up with any of this nonsense anymore. And this divorce, this coming divorce with the Smith family, is going to be so symbolic. Because now men everywhere are going to get up and begin to walk. Say enough is enough. If you want to be a modern day woman, that's fine. We're not going to fight with you. We're not going to fight with you at all. We're going to leave you where you stand. And 10, 20 years from now, you'll be the ones calling us back. You'll be the ones saying, black men abandoned us. No, we ain't abandoned you. We warned you for the last 2, 3 decades to get it together. You were determined not to. And now because you wanted to go off, be a career woman, you wanted to be independent this, independent that, we said, okay, go be independent. We're going to be right over here. We're going to choose the white lady, the Asian lady, the Indian lady, the Brazilian lady, the African lady. That's what we're going to do. And we're going to go along and build our families and be builders, the builders that we are. And we're going to leave you right where you stand. There's not all this bickering and saying that we're called is nothing but division. That's all about the end. Because there's going to be no more talk. The talk is over. We're simply going to walk away in order to keep our peace and maintain our sanity. We don't want to deal with it anymore. We told you what we want. Even I, in my own home, I might say, hey, I'm asked why am I acting this way, or why am I not doing this? Hey, well, I need this and I need you that. Oh, no, you don't need that. This is what you need. I'm like, what? You ask me what I want, and I tell you what I want, and you tell me I don't need it. This is what you really want. And this is the mentality of all women. My wife is not a modern day woman by any stretch of the imagination, but I'm saying that there are things that are inherently implanted in the minds of women for whatever reason. And it goes back to the days of Eve being rebellious. From the days of Eve, the first, we call her Eve, don't know her name, but the first woman ever created. So everything that came out of her womb became just like her. All of her daughters are rebellious. Just as she was rebellious against God, women by nature are rebellious against the order of God. That's why you had these women pastors out here. Because women by nature are rebellious against God and his order. It's true. You might not like that it's true, but it's the reality. And it's the reality that without a man, without a strong man, a strong leader, you're not going to learn how to be. You're not going to learn how to live under the order that God created. You're always going to be rebellious. Any woman that is uncovered by a man, learn one thing about her. She has a lot of rebellion in her. Why do you think they go out and get all these piercings and all these tattoos? That's a sign of rebellion. Not wanting to be told what to do, not wanting authority over you. It is inherently important that things are structured in a certain way. As long as these ladies want to run around out here being uncovered, being rebellious against the very order of God, there's going to continue to be chaos. 88% of black American children are born out of wedlock. 88% of black American children are born out of wedlock. And you wonder why we're at the bottom financially. You can't build wealth. You have no ability to build generational wealth when you're creating single parent homes that are struggling in poverty. It doesn't work that way. It doesn't work. Then these women will go out, continue to be rebellious, Instead of being under a man, being covered, building a home, having a structure, being out here wilding out, hot girl summer, as they say. Then 10 years down the line, when she's in her late 30s, 40s, or 50s, or whatever, say, where are the good men at? There are good black men. They are just not wanting you. I think that's what has to be told. The ones who are out here saying that there are no good black men, there are many good black men. The fact of the matter is they don't want you. You went out there and gave your womb to Pookie and Ray Ray. 1, 2, 3, 4 baby daddies. Good men don't want that. They just don't. You want to run around here talking like a dude, acting masculine like a dude. Every word out your mouth is bro. Or bruh. Or yeah, I'm saying, I mean. Masculine energy like a dude, like a man. Guess what? Good men don't want that. It's true. It's true. So for all the ladies out here are screaming, where the good men at? Can't find me a husband. They out there. They just don't want you. Notice this. Anytime you see a feminine woman at the age of 25 and up, what's true about that woman? Almost always, 9 times out of 10, she's married. When you see a lady who has that feminine energy, carry herself like a lady, wears a dress and shoes all the time, don't wear tight jeans and sneakers, what you notice about her? She has a ring on her finger. She has children. She has a husband. But when you see the girls out here with all that masculine energy, wearing the Nikes and the Reeboks and tight-ass jeans, what you notice about them? They always baby mothers. They are baby moms. It's true. It's true. What I'm saying is legit. And the fact of the matter is a lot of people know this is true. You got women out here who are so severely overweight, thinking that they deserve what they call a high-value man or a high-earning man. Those men exist. They just don't want you. And they're tired of your bullshit. They're saying enough is enough. So we're going to start Will Smith and everybody now. I want all these men out here. You see, people clown Will Smith for the longest. Now this man is getting enough courage up to say,